this finds you in the right place at the right time, this painting is going to be about chatting with your shadow. That's what I'm picking up that is going on, like something from the past is coming up, whether in form of your own internal identity that makes you want to do some decisions or make some choices because you always did, that are in conflict with who you are today or who you're trying to become, or something comes externally, like perhaps somebody comes in and tries to relate to you in a way that doesn't really match who you are right now, and it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. So you have to learn how to make new choices. Yeah, if this finds you in the right place at the right time, then great. By the way, welcome to my multidimensional living room. If this doesn't resonate with you, it might be from somebody else. There might be somebody on the planet right now who could really benefit from seeing what I'm doing or hearing what I'm saying. So if you like, leave a comment, subscribe or share. You will increase the likelihood of that happening, and you will also help me not get stuck in this lower realm of YouTube. Repeating myself from the last video. And if this totally doesn't resonate with you, please feel free to leave and come back when you're ready. Please use your intuition, use your discernment at all times. So, I had an experience a couple of days ago, which I'm going to bring into this painting. By the way, I felt inspired to sprinkle the paper with water before I started, which creates this very nice texture to it right now. I've had an experience a couple of days ago, which I haven't had in a very long time. That's why it kind of sticks to me. It's interesting to have that experience again after a very long time of not having it. And the key component of that experience is that there is something in my life, or there was something in my life, better said, that I really, really don't want it to happen. I really, really don't want that. And so the experience was that somebody asked me something along the way of, hey, how are you doing? And automatically I spoke about exactly that thing. I don't want it to happen. Like, there you go, I said it. And I didn't even notice in the very moment that perhaps I shouldn't be talking about this. I noticed first and foremost by the reaction of the other person that, you know, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it. But more so than that, I noticed that once I left that person and I started walking home, I was walking with this burning sensation in my body. That burning sensation that comes from the awareness that that thing that I didn't want to happen isn't now just a potential in my head. I've outspoken it. I gave it a piece of reality. I grounded it through my speech. And not just that I outspoken it, I've also shared it with another person. So now it also lives in the awareness of other person, which kind of makes it look as if it's now, it makes it easier for it to happen. And I really don't want it to happen. So it felt like a mistake. It felt like something that shouldn't have happened. And it felt horrible. Yeah, it felt horrible. So when I came home, the first thing that I wanted to do was to text that person and to let them know, hey, that thing that I said, I really didn't mean it. But then I wrote it down and then I deleted it because I didn't mean everything I said. So I tried to rephrase it, I tried to reframe it, I tried to shift my own energy from feeling horrible into feeling better. And I realized that the more I'm trying to explain myself, the more I'm trying to actively escape the feeling that I had, or the more I'm trying to shift and change something, the more it felt as if I'm like falling into a quicksand. And I had to stop. I had to just stop. I had to remind myself that people reinterpret, forget what we said. Don't pay as much attention about what we said as much as we pay attention to what we said. And I had to calm myself down with that awareness. I also had to ask myself, just like in the past painting, is that a friend or a foe? And it's a friend. So I was like, well, then I don't have to worry that they will remember me incorrectly, or for that particular thing that I don't wish to be remembered for. I didn't wish to be remembered as somebody who carries a potential of something unwanted. And there was, of course, the awareness that is probably hovering in your awareness all along right now, that it's not about the other person, and who cares about how other people see you, right? It's about you. It's about you and yourself. And that's exactly where I ended up being in the end. Standing in that standstill point of this quicksand, together with my feelings that were horrible. Looking into those horrible feelings, looking into that horrible potential of something that I really don't want to happen, being there, activated, and then looking at it, being still with it, being present with it for a few minutes. And then talking to it. And I had to say something like, I hear you, I feel you, I'm aware of you, I know where you're coming from. I know what you've been through. I know why you think this way. I know what you want. I see you. But you're not having control over my reality anymore, god damn it. No, you don't. I had to say that. And in that moment, as I was processing this, I had a vision. And when it comes to this vision, here I hope this finds you in the right place at the right time, so that it actually makes sense to you what I'm talking about. I had a vision of 3 life paths, or 3 timelines, or 3 life trajectories. Words really don't matter here. One of them was that of an unwanted reality. And that one was very tar black. It was like a one line that was tar black, and it was like dripping tar black. Kind of like this. Yeah, a bit thicker, yeah. So this is something that you don't want. For example, it could be you have to move to another country, and you really don't want to do it. But it comes with the feeling of, I have no choice but to do it. I have no choice. It comes with this feeling of powerlessness. It comes with the feeling of life is not fair. And on top of that, it comes with this really uncomfortable feeling of, I hate it, I despise it, I really don't want to go there. But you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, that's kind of like a spite against yourself. You don't want to go there, you don't want to move to that country, but then you say to yourself, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, a bit of self-hate. It doesn't show itself immediately as self-hate, but rather as absence of love. Yeah, and that's here, on one side here. Then another life path was in the middle of it, and it carries the same action. It carries the same choice, and that is you have to move to another country. But here it's more like you want to go there. It's the same choice but different energetics. So you don't move to another country because you hate yourself or because you feel like you have no other choice. You move to another country because you found reasons to do so that are good for you, you know. Changes, new adventure, new people, better weather, more money, whatever it is. Like you, even if it's not leading you, you still are able to shift from this state into, it's probably not all that bad, right? And you still make the same choice, but in a way that supports you rather than drains you. And then the third life path that was here, let me use white. Okay. The third life path that was here was completely unrelated to the first and the second. So that would be something like you don't even move to another country at all, or you move somewhere where you really want to move, mainly because this belief that you have to do something that you don't want to do doesn't play itself out through you. You don't host that belief inside of the structure of your being. That belief doesn't define your reality at all. So here something entirely else happens. Those were the three life paths that I was seeing, and what I saw was that in many cases, like it's very, like I see that energy as like very basic, like very frequent. That's what I need to say, frequent. That you want to be in this life path, but this life path here has like a pull. It has a gravity to it. And take this however it speaks to you right now. This might not be like moving to another country, or it might also be like, I don't know, making any kind of different choices across all aspects of your life. But there is this like life path, or like a part of your identity that carries a gravity. It has a pull on you because it has a history, because it's been practiced so long already that it just wants to keep being itself, right? And even if you don't want it anymore, you consciously know better. You are totally ready to make different choices. This is still here, pulling on you. And what I've seen in this area is that it has a pull on you until you acknowledge it. And when you acknowledge it, suddenly there is more energy that is available in the other two paths. So you acknowledge this one and you neutralize it. And then you automatically shift more into this one, even if that's also something that you want. By the way, another thing that I gotta say, I'm not here to teach manifestation of any kind, so please keep that in mind, but this is what comes through. Even if this is not what you want, it feels better to make choices and actions in this life path, or through this identity that is more loving and self-supporting. And then when you neutralize this opens up even more, because you're not escaping into it, because you're not pulling towards it from here, but because you're actually available to it. And what I noticed is that while this life path is active, while this identity is active, and it can be over a prolonged period of time, or can manifest itself as like a mental rumination, as something that is in the background of your mind, something that you constantly think about whatever you're doing. Like you go out on a picnic and it's a beautiful sunny day and you see your friends and the music is amazing and you enjoy everything you're doing. But in the background of your mind, like you're thinking about how you need to move to another country and you absolutely hate it. Or like sometimes it just, Like you might have one day it's like totally fine, you're not thinking about it, and then the next day you feel like you have no choice but to surrender to this, whatever that might be for you. And during, like, as long as this is present, even in the background of your mind, the level of your energy can be something like 75-85%. Like, not 100. You're not super enthusiastic and focused and alert and driven throughout the day. But you're functional, you're healthy, everything is okay. It's like you have a little bit of like, yeah, that's draining a little bit, but it's fine. Like, you can still function on a daily basis. And you kind of normalize that state of being. It's kind of normal to you that you're not at 100%. You don't even notice how this is slowly draining you over time. And then you acknowledge this part. It doesn't take more than just looking at it, sitting with these feelings and telling it, like, look, I know where you come from, I know what you want, I see you, I feel you, I understand you, but you're not in charge of taking choices right now. You're not in charge of making decisions on my behalf. That's all it needs. Once you do this, a lot more energy is opening up here in this too. And how that actually shows itself is that you wake up the next day and suddenly you have more focus and more energy to do things. Suddenly you see clearly what is it that you need to do, and you organize yourself accordingly. And a task that you've been putting away for like 3 weeks or a month that seemed like a burden because it was like, oh my god, so much work to do, you start tackling it and you realize that all you needed was just like 1 day of pure focus and attention, and it's done. It activates even this feeling of, okay, what else can I do today? And it's a really, really good place to be. And then from that space I was also shown how if you have 2 choices to make, like, whoa, that was a lot. I don't know why I did blue for both choices. Ah, that's why, okay. So if you have 2 choices to make, to simplify things, you really want to do one choice, but you also really want to do another choice. If you have any Gemini in your chart, then you know how it feels when you're 100% yes and 100% no at the same time. It's not 50-50, it's 100% yes, it's 100% no. And if you're in that kind of situation where you can't make up your mind and you're going back and forth, and it's like one day you want one thing and you're 100% certain this is it, this is what I want, and then the moment of making that decision comes and you start questioning yourself, this is what was shown to me, how to make a decision in this case. You can tell yourself statements, like a positive, affirming statements that would positively affirm each of those choices. So for example, on one side you have, I really want to move to another country, and on the other side you have, I really don't want to move to another country. And then you can list all the statements that would affirm or confirm that choice and what would go with those choices, right? So you can tell yourself, I really can't wait to move to that country, and see how that actually feels in your body. See, like, listen to yourself, how do you sound, and how's your belly feeling, and how's your heart feeling, and look at yourself in a mirror while you're saying it if you can. Look at your reaction, like your body reaction. How do you say how do you look, how do you feel when you say, I really want to move to that country? Does it come like, yeah, that's true, yeah? Or does it come with, not really? And then try to say exactly the opposite. I really don't want to move to that country. And then you might hear a little bit of you saying like, but it actually might be nice. And then speak to yourself as many statements as you need in order to complete the picture of one choice versus the other choice. If you need, write them down. But the end result of this practice is not just that you learn to listen to your body, but it's also that you might come to the conclusion that, of course, your body knows the truth, but that truth is not what you actually like. And that's what causes the back and forth between two choices and the indecision, is that your body, you already know intrinsically, your intuition already knows what is good for you, but you don't like it. Your mind doesn't like it. For whatever reason, you don't like it. And you might be thinking in this moment that if you just convince yourself a little bit more, if you spend more time thinking that you do like it, that you will make that true on top of what your body knows that is true. If you just affirm robotically, or if you just lie to yourself, if you act as if, then you will turn what isn't true into what is true eventually. But what was shown to me in this example here is that the only, not the only way, but a shortcut on how you can make things that aren't true is that first and foremost you have to accept what your body, your physical body, knows as true, even if you don't like it. And take it from there. And as you take it from there and you start acting from what your body knows that is true, even if you don't like it, that which you wish to be true has more space to actually... I don't like to use the word manifest itself, because as I said, like, I don't like to teach manifestation. That's not what I'm here for. But manifest itself. It has more space to come true, and it kind of comes in effortlessly and easily. And this is also what I'm seeing about this life path and this life path. And this life path becomes kind of optional. It's a better life path than this one, but as you neutralize this one, and then you open up to this one and accept this one, you neutralize it too, and then you end up having this one, which might be something that ideally you want. This energy of something showing up back from the past, like a past identity, has resurfaced for me right before I started this painting. So it kind of doubled itself in influence for this painting. So it tells me that it might be really important for somebody who is witnessing this process here. Other than that, on TikTok somebody expressed that they would like to hear my thoughts on God. And I love sharing my thoughts on God. I think it really fits to these energies that I've been portraying here. So I'm gonna share them. I come from Christian Catholic family and environment, which means that I had to believe in God, I had to go to church, I had to pray 3 times a day. I had to be the good girl in order to prevent God from being the bad guy. Yeah. God will throw rocks at you if you do something wrong. I know that. The guilt and shame of being a human and fear of God is very well known to me. Yeah. And when I started thinking with my own head, when I grew up a little bit, I decided that God will not play a role in how I live. It will not dictate my actions and my behaviors and who I am and how I feel. In other words, I didn't believe in God, or I stopped believing in God. I left about 5% of openness that perhaps I might be wrong, perhaps there is some big God out there on the planet, or outside of the planet, or above the planet, or somewhere. But I genuinely had no curiosity to meet him, because I had other things that were way much more important to me at that time. And I also never really had problem with anybody believing in God or gods or goddesses, and anybody have. Where was I? Camera stopped recording and I lost my train of thoughts. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't have problem with anybody having their own version of reality. That was totally fine for me. But in my reality, I didn't look for God, and I also lived with an impression that God didn't look for me either. And that was totally fine for me. Until eventually I had experiences that moved me from not believing in God into not believing in God, but recognizing and experiencing God in everything and everyone around me, including myself. And from that standpoint, believing in God stopped being about any of those conversations that go about, like, is the God real or fake, or is it out there somewhere, or is it in your head? All of that became irrelevant. And belief in God turned out to be something way much more applicable and practical and consciously chosen lived experience, so to say. For example, I have a vision for this YouTube channel. And I put my time, energy, and effort to showing up here. And I put my faith and trust in what you would call God, or universe, or spirit, or self, myself, yourself, whatever self, or some other name, you name it, into the possibility that this channel might as well develop itself into something that would be fulfilling for my soul. And if it doesn't, then I choose to believe that there probably is a reason for it, and that reason in and of itself might be even more significant than that idea of success that I have for myself. I choose to believe in that. Versus, or instead, believing in things like, it's so hard to have a YouTube channel in 2026. I should have started, 10 years ago, because up until now everybody has their social media already figured out, to the point that they're not even present on social media. So having a YouTube channel is hard, and I don't know what I was thinking while I was even starting this, and I don't know why I'm still here. Maybe I should just give up like yesterday. You see, that would be devil speaking, and I prefer not to listen to devil in that way. So I would say God is everything and God is everywhere. You are God, me is God, we're all God, but it's also very ungodly of us to call ourselves gods. And if I would say that God is everything and everywhere, you would come here and tell me, no, it's not, because there are dark forces on the planet destroying it. That's not God. And I would say, yeah, you're right. It's not God. There are dark forces on the planet whose job description is not equal to the definition of God. I agree. So I would say all that is also isn't, and the other way around. It's a title of a painting I created a couple of years ago when I was having a close encounter with death. If you want to know more about it, I wrote a book called The Book of Meanings. So to end this, I would say God is love, love is God, God loves you, you love me, I love you, I love God. But you know what else I love? Black metal. Before I found God in this life, I have met the devil, and if you would like me to talk about that experience, please leave me a comment. Or many of them. the more comments you leave, the more happier I'll be to make that video and paint the devil energy. I think it would be actually really good to paint the devil energy, but I really need to be happy to do that. This painting looks very raw to me. And after everything that I have said, I feel like the painting did itself. I have this impression that the painting created itself here. So, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna be painting anymore. It's been a pleasure. And as always, it's been a pleasure as always. If you would like to experience your own personal painting, if you would like to experience painting of your own energy, that would kind of be able to speak to you across time and space, please check the links down there in the description box. Other than that, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way, shape or form you can. And I will see you in the next painting.